On the national news this hour from Babagbagide Imo Television, first the headlines. FG condemns labor protest at Abuja airport. Umahi inspects site as work commences at Enugu collapsed bridge. INEC has no candidate in Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi polls. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. ICPC deploys operative to monitor off-cycle elections in Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi. Abuja youth threatens to shut council over bad road. And on sport, better as a striker than a winger. Pesaro picks perfect role for Super Eagles star ahead of Lesotho match. I am Mori Rebila Lawal. Today is Friday. May it never be our last. Jumat Mufida to all faithful Muslims. The news in detail. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has faulted the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and Trade Union Congress (TUC) protest at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Labour had early this morning blockaded the airport owing to it face-off with the Imo State government after the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, was beaten up in the southeast state. The move grounded activities at the airports, leaving many travelers grounded yesterday. But speaking at an aviation retreat for the Honorable Minister, Permanent Secretary, Directors and Head of Agencies of the Aviation Ministry in Efferun on Thursday, Keyamo faulted the move and questioned why the unions targeted the sector that was not involved in the maltreatment of the NLC chairman. Aviation was not involved at all. As of yesterday, we were battling with the fact that they said for only flight for Imo that they would disrupt. But this morning, as of yesterday, they blocked the access road to the Abuja airport. They are disrupting the entire country. While the minister said he is a friend of the labor movement, he called on the protesting unionists to shed their swords in the interest of the nation. The Imo State government are in the wake of the assault on Ajaero, denied any involvement and accused the labor chief of dabbling into politics. Although the unions have penciled November 14th for the nationwide strike owing to the assault on Ajaero, Keyamo is warning them to distance themselves from politics. The federal government has finalized plans to commence the reconstruction of the collapsed bridge at New Artisan along the Enugu-Port Harcourt dual carriageway, beginning with palliative works on the standing bridge on one lane Friday to ensure it's ready for use within the next 10 days. This was made by the Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, and the Minister of Works, Engineer Dave Umahi, during a pre-reconstruction visit to the site on Wednesday. Speaking to newsmen, Governor Umba appreciated the Minister and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the prompt response to alleviate the hardship the collapsed bridge had caused road users. As we know, the Minister was also here with us to inspect and to identify areas of quick intervention the last time we came here. So there is going to be a repair of existing lane, and hopefully within the next 10 days, our people should be able to use one of the lanes. Then effectively around the middle of next month, the full work on the bridges on both lanes would commence, he said. Also fielding questions from the newsmen, the Minister of Works described Umba as a productive leader who had remained focused and applied pressure to ensure that the challenges was addressed immediately. So because of his strength and commitment to his people and his leading, we have to follow. It is a good leadership, and we have promised him that this week we are going to do palliative work on this existing or standing bridge. As regards the election coming up in Imo, Bayelsa and Kogi, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, says the electoral umpire has no candidate in the November 11, 2023 governorship polls in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states. In a statement late Thursday, the electoral chief pledged to ensure a level playing field for all political parties and candidates in the elections. He also promised the readiness of the staff of the commission, saying, "We are determined to ensure that our officials are there, waiting for voters rather than the voters waiting for our arrival." Still on election, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has deployed its operatives to monitor the Saturday governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi. The spokesperson of the commission, Mrs. Azuka Ogugwa, said this in a statement on Thursday in Abuja. According to her, The Commission's operatives have been deployed to the 56 local government areas and 649 wards in the 3 states where election will be held. Ogugwa said that the operatives were among others monitor and prevent vote buying and other electoral malpractices at the various polling units during the election. The monitoring exercise is a response to the invitation by the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, for ICPC to participate in ensuring that the electoral processes in these states are free and fair. She said the ICPC Head of Special Duties Division (SDD), Mr. Alex Chukura, called on the operative to collaborate with other security agencies during the exercise. Chukura told the operative before their deployment to collaborate with the military, police, Department of State Security, other security agencies, and INEC to ensure that the elections were free and fair. The SDD had charged the operative to strictly adhere to the ICPC guidelines for monitoring elections. He also advised the officers to take necessary actions against perpetrators of any act of corruption during the election in accordance with the law, no matter their social status. Some youth in the Gwagwalada Area Council of Abuja, Federal Capital Territory, have threatened to shut the council's office over the deplorable state of the Gwagwalada Market Road. Some of the youth in the area who spoke said on Tuesday that the bad road has caused severe hardship for commuters and residents for a long time. One of the youths, Menesa Paul, said that the youth were given the council authorities an ultimatum of 7 days to attend to the road or they would paralyze activities on the road and also storm the council office. Minister said Gwagwalada Market Road once in a while now lies in ruins, strangling local businesses and burdening the people it should serve. The path to redemption must begin with the reconstruction of this vital road. We as citizens of Nigeria assert our rights to free movement as enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution, and we call for prompt restoration of this fundamental right. Speaking further, Minister who doubles as a coordinator of the youth in the area said that road has been bad for like 3 to 4 years. Every chairman used it to campaign when contesting. It is a major road that links Gwagwalada to other areas in the metropolis. Some medical workers of the Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital Ilefe, Osun State, have tackled the management for allegedly subjecting them to penury over 10 months of unpaid salaries. The employees who spoke in different interviews on Wednesday lamented that they are resorted to begging to feed their families due to the hardship the non-payment of salaries subjected them to. One of the employees who identified himself simply as Ben decried that he had become incapable of feeding his family because of the non-payment of his salary since he joined the service of the OAUTH on December 13, 2022. Another employee who spoke on condition of anonymity for fear of being penalized stressed that the non-payment of salary and some unfair policies ravaging the health sector in Nigeria were factors forcing brains out of the country. To the next story. 2 businessmen who sustained severe injuries 23 years ago after they were shot by men of the Togolese Marine soldiers have sought the intervention of President Bola Tinubu in seeking justice. Information gathered that on September 8, 2000, the Nigerian businessman Tajir Shoaga, alongside his friend and business partner Shegun Leopard, visited Port Autonome, Lome, Togo, to purchase vehicles that they usually brought back to Nigeria to sell. It was not their first trip, as they were well known at the port by the Europeans, Togolese, and other nationalities who were into automobile business at the place. According to Shuaga, on that fateful day around 8 a.m., their agent called them to quickly fast-track the clearance of the vehicle they just bought to avoid it being vandalized by thugs known for stealing car components. They were busy with this when the soldiers on mufti swooped on them and ordered them to lie down. Shortly after doing this, they suddenly heard gunshots, which subsequently pierced through their legs. One commander, who was the head of the Navy in the yard, ordered some of officers to search and inspect the car. His officers returned with the documents of the already purchased car, and nothing was more found inside the car. The commander was provoked. He asserted and started hitting the particular officer who shot at them, asking them, "Tell me their offense." Later, they asked us if we could pay for our service, and I had a 140,000 sefa on me. They helped me to bring it out of my pocket, all soaked in my blood. They had to wash off the blood before they used the money to pay for our bills. He, however, noted that a sum of, say, for 250 million naira approved by the then Togolese government for their treatment did not get to them up to date. I just want President Tinubu and his smart team to help me intervene in this matter, to instruct or invite the High Commission over there in Togo or the Nigerian ambassador to Togo to intervene. My second cannot even walk at all because he still has bullet and iron on his leg. It has not been removed since 23 years. Finally, on sports. The coach of the senior national team of Nigeria, Josip Pizarro, has made a bold revelation about one of the first-choice wingers of the team, as is set for the start of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Reports said Nigeria will begin the race to make amends for missing out on the last World Cup by hosting Lesotho in Uyo before traveling for their first away game against Zimbabwe at their adopted home ground in the Rwanda city of Kigali. Blessed with an array of options in attack and on the flanks, Pizarro has constantly rotated his options on the wings with the courtesy of Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, and more recently Kelechi Iheanacho, his preferred options on the flanks. He has, however, hinted that Lookman could be handed a different role in the coming days, with his statement that the former England youth international is more comfortable as a second striker than on the flanks, where he has played in all of his 10 caps for the senior national team of Nigeria. Lookman is a great moment, which I hope he maintains until the end of being able to do even better than last season, which was of a great level. He plays well both as a striker and a second striker, but I think he can better express his skills as a second striker. He said in an interview in Italian publication Fantalacchio, he said. With that sports story, we've come to the end of today's national news. Before we go, some headlines. It affects ordinary Nigerians. FG condemns labor protests at Abuja airport. Umahi inspects site as work commences at Enugu collapsed bridge. INEC has no candidate in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. Vote buying, ICPC deploys operative to monitor off-cycle elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi. And on sport, we brought to you, better as a striker than a winger. Pizarro picks perfect role for Super Eagles star ahead of Lesotho tie. For update of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. It's another beautiful Jumat to all faithful Muslims all around the world. I'm wishing you all Jumat Mufida. May it never be our last, inshallah. My name is Morir Rabila Lawa. Good afternoon.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.